A bump in the night, mysterious frights, smells that disturb, visuals impaired. Welcome to another episode of Cryptid Chronicles. I'm your host, Sadhu Dham, as we begin to dive and explore into horrors unseen but foretold. Join me if you dare. Guman Thong. I'm warning you right now that this is a bit more disturbing than most of the other entries, especially if you have children. Still though, it's a huge part of Thai culture and worth discussing, as they found their way to Americas and Canada among numerous other countries. You will learn of the processes that make one, only because it's important to understand what they are. I have purposely left out the actual chants and symbols for bringing them to life. Guman Thong, also known as Guman Thong, Guman or Gumara and Gumari, means sanctified young boy. In terms of female, they'd use the term Kumari or Hongrai, and Thong means golden. It's often referred to as Thailand's little golden boy. And they are featured mostly in the Thai Buddhist amulet circles, though you can find them in Cambodia and Myanmar as well. The disturbing part of these amulets lays within their creation. The worst part being that the government doesn't really have the ability to stop them from being made due to backhanded corruption, but as a whole, they have cut out on the practice on a public level. People are only arrested if they're caught making one by the old formula, and even then, it's a gray area. Depends on how much money you have, if you'll get away. The old formula is as follows. Monks or shamans known as Ajahn Ulusi would take these bodies and create them. You see, when making Guman Thong, they do rituals in the cemeteries where they use sacred Pali chants to bind an infant soul of a desiccated child or aborted fetus to the talisman, which is pulled straight from the mother's womb or given to them after it is removed. The talisman in question is the body of the child and is covered in yalak, which is gold leaf used in making takruts and other talismans or amulets. Sacred oils like naman prai are also used to soak the body, which sometimes includes the melted chin fat of the mother if she died, or another female who died in childbirth. They have used naman prai oil of a man as well, simply because it is seen as the power of death in a tangible form. They attain the oil by holding a candle under a corpse's chin until the fat melts. The oil itself is only ever made from someone that died of unnatural causes or met a violent demise. They prepare the body by roasting it over a fire and charring the body. The whole time this is occurring, they chant and bind the spirit and put binding Pali spell work as well as oils to form the chains that trap the spirit. They attain the bodies by making deals with hospitals or the mothers themselves directly. Grave robbing is another common practice. They sell for roughly $2 USD to several hundred and even into the thousands, depending on the maker and the quality of the Guman Thong. The new formula isn't done in the old way, not nearly as graphic. They do still conduct ceremonies and draw the spirits of lost children, similar to the style of creating prai or ghost talismans. Once they've drawn them in using chants and offerings, they place them into the dolls or small statues made in the likeness of a little boy, and then place the appropriate binding symbols. The ones made under the new formula, sometimes referred to as Luk Tep or Luk Tap, meaning child angel. If you own one of these, maybe with out yont on it, some might not be able to tell the difference between it and a regular doll. There is a positive benefit to having these, and the reason is, for some families, it is a manner of dealing with the grief of losing their child and gives them the chance to raise that baby spirit as their own child that never got its life. The Guman Thong or the Lutep can be helpful in people's lives, and the way that this is seen as a positive and not just a morbid curiosity is where they now have the ability and potential of their whole life shortened, being given anew through the karmic practices of helping this family or this person. In helping them and doing good things for the physical well-being of an individual in this life, the Guman Thong or Lutep is given merit. After a certain point of accumulation in merit, then the spirit will cross over, and its reincarnation will be of a much higher caliber than if it had simply crossed before. It's believed that these practices came into being under a necromancer named Guman. He didn't see himself as a necromancer, more so a general. Long after his death in 1529 and in the early Ratanagonsan period, many authors and poets went on to describe his life story in many versions. There are many books, lyrics, and poems on the legend of Guman in Thai literature. After all, he was a famous warlord. He was a very handsome man and had multiple wives, one of whom had passed away while pregnant, and Guman reputedly used his magic to create a ghost child. He then named it Guman Thong, after collecting it from her womb. Amulets with the image of the ghost child are also believed to protect the bearer from danger and to encourage prosperity. These amulets are used to fight other owners of Guman Thong, cast curses, bless businesses, increase luck, gambling, and some types are specifically used as the surrogate children for infertile couples.
Hey everybody, thank you for watching the video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and also for the full featured version of this episode, go to Patreon.